Alright, we should be live. Microphone looks good. Video capture's working. Alright, we're back. And we have Indoraptor here. So, going to pop over here. We're on Cons of Tark here. We finished with Neon Dynasty last time. Gonna pick right up and get back to work on our friend Indoraptor. Ooh, that's weird. I was gonna say, Absent Banner, like the banners tap for 3 mana or 3 tap, and it's not loading in. That concerns me for what else might not have loaded in on this page, but there we go. Alright, so Cons was a wedge block, so we're unlikely to get a ton of stuff from it, but we might get some of the, like, enemy color pairs from the wedge, so we just have to see if we can find stuff that will deal a ton of damage to our opponents on the cheap. Champion, Bring Low, Burn Away, Trader's Claws. No. No, I don't think the Dragon Throne is where I want to be at. Not unless I can enable my defender to attack. But having Indoraptor sit on a throne, excuse me, and just give orders to the rest of the team doesn't seem quite right. It's definitely a lead from the front commander. Hardened Scales is probably too low impact. Like, it is not itself a creature able to attack, and it's only giving 1 extra counter. I might run, like, the Winding Constrictor for the extra counters, plus being a 2 mana, 2 power body that can attack for damage on top of that, but I don't think I need effects like Hardened Scales. Don't need the Hooded Hydra. Howl of the Horde, probably not. Yeah, I thought I heard something going on outside my house, but I'm not 100% sure what it is. The Kintree Invocation. Heart Piercer, no. Soul Hunter, no. Can't run War Shrieker if we wanted to. Giving Indoraptor Death Touch isn't a huge deal. So the Murak Nightblade, not exactly what I'm looking for. Meandering Tower Shell, way too dirtily. Murderous Cut is fine, but not really something I feel like I need. Death Dealer, also fine, but not amazing. Can't run Rattleclaw because it's tapping for blue. Ruthless Ripper, don't need. Sarkin becomes a dragon, deal 4 damage to target creature. And his emblem's not really anything I want, so no. Savage Punch. Maybe, because the Indoraptor's basically... If the Indoraptor has less than 4 power in and of itself, things have already gone horribly wrong, so I am going to do fight cards like this. Is another one that I would seriously consider to kill a creature and trigger the Indoraptor. Don't need Scout. Need See the Unwritten. Alright, I'm thinking based on the faint odor that we're getting an oil delivery today for our heater. So I guess that's what that noise was before. Which is good. We're supposed to get a snowstorm, and the weather's been like freezing around here. Like the whole Northeast is supposed to get some kind of snow this weekend, so we'll have to see. But the heater's been running pretty much continuously since yesterday, so glad we're getting the delivery before the snow hits, if that's the case. Tuskar Captain, same problem as the Murak Nightblade. Like, they're not efficient enough for what they're doing, and giving the Indoraptor Death Touch and Trample is kind of whatever once it's already in play. Like, giving Death Touch and Trample to all of my other creatures would be super helpful, because then I can punch in for a ton of damage, but I kind of need them to already be that strong, and Indoraptors are primary thing that cares about counters right now, so probably not going to be a factor. Alright, so that was cons. That brings us to legends. I'm not actually expecting to have anything unless I'm grabbing, like, sorceries or something, because old school magic creatures not exactly at their strongest. Like, 3 mana tap, return a creature, like, raise dead a creature every turn is okay, not amazing. I don't need All Hallows Eve. Arborea, no. Axelrod is an 8 mana 5/5 trampler, and if he kills something, he deals a damage to one of my opponents, and I gain a life. Yeah, there's like a couple of efficient creatures in Legends, mostly in Grixis colors, like Solkanar the Swamp King and Nico Bolas are like two of the very few creatures that actually have really good stats for their casting cost combined with their effects. The rest of them are all just whatever. Huh, I didn't realize Boris was a zombie. I assumed he was a human wizard. Realized he was a zombie wizard. That must be somewhere in the lore then. Like, he doesn't look great, but I assume that was from communing with devils and demons and such. Not because he was undead. Caverns of Despair, not what I'm looking for. Don't think I need Chains of Mephistopheles. Doesn't feel like a Chains deck. I don't want to give opponents creatures haste, so Concordant Crossroads and its color shifted red variant, not where I'm at. Draw Giants, an old favorite of mine back from when I used to have one of my very first actual, like, picked a theme and built around it 60 card constructed decks was Thicket Basilisk Lore Regeneration. So when Chronicles came out and I got to add Craw Giant and the Wretched to it, that was good times because you force everything to block it. It's already trample. It gets +2/+2 for each creature blocking it. If their creatures are too small, you just get to kill everything and deal them extra damage. And if they're bigger, you basically still get to kill everything and keep your Craw Giant around. And then it hits harder when they're out of creatures, whereas the Basilisk is only a 2/4 with Super Death Touch. So he doesn't even have to deal the damage to it, just has to get into combat with it to kill it. Not super enough that it didn't need regeneration to survive getting into combat with it, but details. Don't think I need Disharmony. Though it is funny, steal one of their attacking creatures, untap it, and block with it. Not quite good enough. Rika, no. Falling Star, Faint. No. Firestorm Phoenix, no. Is that actually? Real quick. It's been so long since I've seen Firestorm Phoenix. Is placing a graveyard from play returned to owner's hand instead. It may not be summoned again. I forgot there was one like this. I'm thinking of the one from later sets. I think that in my head this was Bogardan Fire Phoenix from like Mirage or Visions or something. Like I just conflated the two in my head and I have never actually reread its game text. Because I forgot that was a thing, like at all. That it just goes back to your hand and then can't be cast for a turn. Floral Spasm, no. Yeah, I think in my head I just assumed this was the same text as the Bogardan Phoenix. Like they just became the same card in my head. Gravity Sphere, no. Don't think this is a Hellfire deck. Hell's Caretaker. Horror of Horrors. Ich Newman? Druid? No. Relation. Guard of the Closed Fist. Jovial Evil. Killer Bees. Drill Sergeant. Don't need any of the kobolds. Orca, no. Discard a card. If the discard card was a land card, deal 2 damage. I also forgot Land's Edge let you discard any card that you wanted. Like, I remember it being discard a land to deal 2 damage. I forgot that you could actually use it as a discard outlet if you just didn't want cards in your hand, like you're a Reanimator deck or somebody plays Ebony Owl Natsuki or Price of Knowledge or something, and you're just like, you know what, I'm out. Let me just throw away these cards that I can't cast rather than take all this extra damage. Living Plane, Livonia Ceylon. Uh, a 1/1 that has banding. With other Wolves of the Hunt. Okay, so this one doesn't have anything about fighting. It's only the like M12 or M13 Master of the Wild Hunt that does that. I don't think I need Mirror Universe. No to Nether Void because I'm trying to cast 2 spells in a turn usually, or maybe 3 or 4. So, Pendlehaven, Pixie Queen, Planar Gate. There we go. Let me ramp to mana, cast this on 6. And that way, on future turns, my commander will be 2 cheaper as long as that doesn't explode. Relic Barrier, Ring of Immortals, no. Rust, Serpent Generator, Spirit Shackles, Stormseeker, not quite good enough. Stormworld is just another rack. But it happens on that player's upkeep, so. Sylvan Library. Probably don't need Sylvan in a deck where I'm also in black. Like, I feel Sylvan Library is way stronger if you're not in black or blue and you happen to be in green. Because usually the other colors just don't have as good card draw as Sylvan Library, but once you get into either black or blue, you get so many better card draw options. I do not need the Abyss, don't need Tabernacle, or Walkeye, Verniker Deathlock. Evictus Osmati, no. A bunch of walls. Willow Satyr, fine in Commander, but not really anything I need. And Ziara Arian. Nope. Okay. No Wood Elemental, I did not acknowledge your existence. Or should anybody. Oops. So why I'm checking my list for things, but. Alright, so that was Legends. That brings us to Legions. There might be some creatures, because Legions is all creature-based, so there are things that would deal damage with their effects in order to kill creatures and whatnot that probably go face, but I don't think there's any really good ones, is the issue. Blade Sliver is whatever. These creatures get +3/+0, but that's way too much mana. Snaporian. Imperium. Sliver. Claw, no. Nope. Definitely not. Deal X damage to target creature, no. Target player loses X life. And elf creatures get +2/+2, so none of the gem palms. Ghastly Remains, no. Dynamo. No. These cards lose X life based on zombies, probably not. Imperial Hellkite. We have a few dragons, but I don't think Kilnmouth is where I want to be at. Like, if it had 3 counters on it, tapping to lightning bolt things, if it can't get through for damage, would be marginally useful. Lavaborn Muse is another rack variant, but also on their upkeep. By the time Magma Sliver actually has the setup it needs for that to be amazing, our opponents are probably already dead anyway. So, just my slivers are unblockable, and they all have tap target sliver gets +X/+O based on the number of slivers in play, and the slivers are giving each other buffs, so by the time this thing connects, it deals like 15 damage. Well, I have an unblockable 15 power sliver every turn. I'm pretty sure that's good enough. Because it's just going to keep getting more out of hand. Don't need Noxious School, Patron of the Wild, Rock Shard Elemental, no. Back when they were really scared of Double Strike. Of course, nowadays they mostly printed on creatures that are naturally smaller, so that way they don't deal too much damage too quickly, but back then it's like, okay, we're going to give this Double Strike, but it's going to have to be like a 7 mana, 4 power creature because it hits like an 8 power creature. So we have to scale it like that. Do I want Seaborn Muse? What am I actually doing with her? Not much, actually. Like, I get to untap my stuff, hold up a removal spell maybe, but that's about it. Flower, no. Skin Thinner, no. Alarmist. Drill Sergeant. Water. Outrider. Invoker. That Invoker. Overwatch, no. Toxin. Tribal Force Mage is actually key to a specific creature type of my choice, but it's still not helping much. Yeah, I don't think so. Unstable Hulk. No, and no. Okay. So, nothing I actually wanted in Legions. Oops, that rules text. Alright, well, that brings us to limited edition. So we get to get our dual lands, and our Soul Ring, and our Demonic Tutor. Probably Animate Dead, because I do want to consider reanimating. I don't look at that. Things went horribly wrong in one of my drafts. I think I already did these. I have to double check, though. Alright, so Animate Dead. Unblack, Enchant. Whenever a land enters the battlefield, deals 2 damage. That's not super helpful. Badlands, Bayou. I don't think I need Basalt. Berserk. When does the creature die? Beginning of the next end step. Destroy that creature if it attacked. Like, it's 1 mana to double Indoraptor's power until end of turn. I do have to do it before combat before combat damage. I still can't do it, like, second main phase. Like, if I attack to try and force a bunch of chumps to get rid of creatures, I have to attack with the Indoraptor then and cast Berserk before. Although they will have already blocked, at least, so... Because it's before combat damage, not before blockers, so we do get to wait and have them block properly. Alright, I'll probably consider Berserk then. Green, instant. Birds of Paradise, Black Ice, Camouflage, Channel, Contract. Copper Tablet doesn't trigger when I need it to. Opian Tomb, Dark Ritual. Tutor, yes. Safe. Mission Team. Earthquake. False Orders. Fast Bond. Fireball. Orc. Might no. Hurricane. Not Expector. Still Energy. Warlord. Kudzu. Lich. Life Force. Lightning Bolt. Probably not. It is a little tempting with Lightning Bolt, especially. Just 1 mana, deal 3 damage. Enough utility and being able to kill, like, smaller, important creatures. And occasionally throwing it at the opponent's face. But I think the problem is that putting it in this deck will make me want to throw it at the opponent's face. And that's not the best use of it. Do I actually want Pestilence? That is one I had not considered. So I can use it to dump extra black mana that I have into dealing damage to like all of our opponents, because each activation will deal 1 damage to each of them. But also, it's a way to ping the Indoraptor for black mana to trigger its enrage mechanic. Yeah, I was not thinking pestilence, but now that I'm looking at it, I think that might actually be correct, or at least like worth considering. Alright, give it a shot. See if it still makes the deck by the end of it. Raging River, no. Regrowth, probably not. Rock Hydra. Sacrifice. Troll, no. Vampire, no. Dragon, no. Soul Ring, yes. Stone Giant. Taiga. Oops. Terror. Can't run Time Vault. Tommy, no. Enchantress, no. Wheel of Fortune, no. Yeah, without all the cards that punish card draw, Wheel of Fortune doesn't seem great. This deck. Alright, so that was Limited Alpha. That brings us to Lorwyn, and then the core sets. Alright. About out the halfway mark. Let's see if I can power through all the core sets after Lorwyn. Clash with Opponent, no. Ashling the Pilgrim. Put a 1/1 counter on it, so we have to spend 6 mana to get this to resolve. To get the trigger to resolve and deal that much damage to everything. Yeah, probably not. It helps a little bit that the things that we have that would add extra counters to her would increase the damage dealt. Don't think that's good enough, though. Six mana to do that. 3 more for the Indoraptor at the minimum. Yeah, it just seems too mana intensive to get her to do what I need her to do the turn I need her to do it, basically. Yeah, I was kind of thinking about her, and I think I scrolled past a bunch of things without actually noticing what they were. But yeah, I don't think we need any of these. Goblin, no. Forest Walk. Forest. Deals combat damage to a player. Create a 1/1 black Goblin Rogue creature token. No. Not gonna have goblins dying. Under Caterwauling Boggart. +1/+0. Alright, Chandra is +1, deal 1 damage to a player or planeswalker, -X. -8, deal 10 damage to target player or planeswalker and each creature that player controls. Think so. Berserker or the Titan. Cloud Thresher is 2 mana intensive for the 2 damage to each player. And I don't want to just evoke it as like a 4 mana player damaging anti-flyer pyroclasm. Like, so many what's the word I'm looking for? Um qualifiers for what it's doing to get down to what it basically functions as. Don't need consuming bonfire, Colfiner's plans, or his urn. Rush underfoot, no. Dauntless dower bark, no. Dolmen's Gate. The only upside to that is it allows me to attack very freely into our opponents to try and get in for damage, but I don't think so. Red. As an opponent casts a blue spell during your turn, make a 4/4. No. Life, no. Also happens during opponent's turns. Extra, no. Harbinger, no. Spitfire, no. Otter launch. Eric, probably not. It's nice that he gives me access to more mana and that we could potentially overrun with him, but not really going wide enough. I don't think so. Guiltleaf Palace. No. Goliath is huge, but that's about it. Yeah, I don't think hostility's quite where I want to be at. Although it is hilarious if I also don't let damage be prevented. Oh no, for each damage prevented this way, never mind, not for each damage the thing would deal. Early Burly. Soul Stoker. 4 damage to target player, planeswalker, 2 damage to each creature, destroy a non-basic land, and wheel variant, or more accurately, Winds of Change variant. Yeah, if it dealt 4 damage to each opponent, maybe. Still 5 mana, but at that point, 5 damage to each opponent, or having the option to deal 2 damage to each creature, or dealing 4 to each of them and dealing 2 damage to the creatures, and triggering Indoraptor after the smaller creatures are dead. But yeah, only dealing it to one player, not quite what I need here. Anna, Oaf, no. Shift Mannequin, no. Guilt Leaf, no. The Chaser. Yeah, I'm not running enough elementals. Also, only having 2 toughness probably doesn't good enough. Loses X life. Okay, so Profane Command. Fear is nice, but not super helpful. Don't think I need Primal actually in this deck. Like, there's no specific creature I desperately need to tutor for. Um, yeah, putting a creature back into their deck, or a non-creature rather, back into their deck and gaining 7 life, like none of that is exactly where I want to be at. We're not worried too much about activated abilities for the Ring of Bright Earth. Don't need Seed Guide Ash. Shriekmaw, no. Smoke Braider. So Bright Flamekin is okay for adding extra mana once I have enough. Let me convert 6 of my mana into 8 red mana once per turn. Spin Rock Knoll. Spine Rock Knoll. By the way, for if an opponent was dealt 7 damage this turn, if I've dealt 7 damage to my opponents this turn, because that would be a lot easier to pull off with this deck. It's still not impossible, but it takes a bit more work to get the free spell out from underneath it. Also, I'm not including a lot of the spells that would be great to have for free because they're so expensive that I would need to be casting them for free in order for it to work out the way I want it to. So, deals damage equal to the number of giants you control to each non-giant creature. I think so. Yeah, that doesn't work because it would actually stop the enrage trigger from happening since it wouldn't be dealt the damage. Risk Heights, Bogart Auntie, Packmaster, and Vanquisher. Alright, on to the core sets then. Whoops. And hey, we got like 23 minutes before we're at the full hour mark, but I might push it to get through the M sets depending on where we are in the near future. Ant Queen, Awakener Druid, All Lightning, Boggart and Hellkite's a reprint. Note of Burning Inquiry, Burst of Speed, Precious Efreet, Chandra reprint, Warlock, Skeleton, Earthquake, Druid, no, 2 damage to any target and 3 to me, no. Echoes, Howling Banshee. If it just dealt 3 damage to everybody for 4 mana, I might actually be down for that. Night Disorder, Inferno Elemental. Packer block alone. Shade, Lurking Predators. Deals 3 damage to each creature and each player. But I can't really control when it dies, is the issue. I don't want to put in a bunch of sacrifice outlets for something like this without having a lot more effects like that, and we haven't run into that many, honestly. Been like that one, one of the dragons from Kamigawa, maybe. Or from Neon Dynasties, rather. And even then, that one's more about making treasures or giving me spells than dealing damage itself. So. I think I need Pyromancer, Pyroclasm, Relentless Rats, no. Damage to target creature equal to number of mountains you control, no. Siege Gang Commander new. Archmage Apprentice new. Stone Giant new. New. Warp World. Weakness. Xanthrid Demon. Yawning Fisher. Nope, okay. M10. M11. Deals 1 damage to target creature defending player controls, only if it's attacking. Think so. Autumn's Veil. Awakener Druid. Back to Nature. Attacks each combat if able. No. So an opponent's been dealt damage this turn. So this should be the reprint of the Bloodthirst mechanic set, right? Some of the wordings on these. 2 damage to that creature's controller. Dealt non-combat damage, gets +3 power. Must. You may have it deal damage equal to its power to target creature defending player controls. Okay, so effectively fights that creature. Each player sacrifices 5 lands, deals 5 damage to each creature. I don't know that I need Wildfire, or bigger Wildfire for that matter. Like, I do plan to generate mana by land fetching, not by artifact mana sources, for example. So I might wind up leaving myself with less mana to work with than the amount that I'm realistically taking away from opponents, depending on how they're ramping and what I've done with like treasures and whatnot. So I haven't actually seen any of the Bloodthirst creatures, so maybe not, but we had like the Goblin that couldn't attack unless the opponent had been dealt damage this turn, so seems likely. If a red instant or sorcery you control would deal damage, it deals double that damage instead. Huh. Red instant or sorcery. Maybe? Probably not. Depends. Like, a lot of my sources are going to be red, so it just depends how many instants and sorceries I have that are dealing the damage. It is a full-on double, though, so maybe. Oops. It is a 5-drop, not a 4-drop. Fling no. Revenge no. Grave Titan, don't think so. Thing Dragon. It's the Banshee again. Inferno Titan. Inferno Titan is kind of interesting because it just has to attack to deal 3 damage, but if we're not dealing it to players, then we're not getting the extra Indoraptor, so I don't think I need Leyline of Punishment. Definitely don't need Vitality. Magma Phoenix is... oh, it's the same one. Tuku Shade reprint. Baloth, Overwhelming Stampede. Has a bit more oomph than Overrun, because it's giving my creatures power based on my strongest creature. I don't think I want to, like, I'd rather play the Ibex and have it attack than try to set up an overwhelming Stampede turn, though. Primeval Titans banned. I don't think I need Protean Hydra. Grave, Rotting Legion, Shiv's Embrace. Yeah, the only thing about Protean Hydra is if I use the mass damage spells, it'll grow the Hydra. As long as I don't kill it. Strike, Triskelion, Wall of Vines, Wild Evocation, no. Alright. Yeah, I don't think that's quite enough reason to run the Hydra. So that was M11, M12. Closing in on 50 minutes, so. Yeah, I think we'll go a little bit over and I'll push my way through the M sets. I don't need the spinner or its web. There's the Bloodthirst creatures. 3 mana, 3/3 first strike. Don't think so. Not running enough vampires for Bloodlord of Vazagath to actually be good. Oil the Grave, Carnage Worm. Yeah, 7 mana, 9/9 Trampler, not exactly tearing up the commander format. Flame, no. Crimson Mage. Don't think I need the pieces of the Empire. Chant. Ungrove Elder. Last Dragon's a reprint from Shards. Furyborn Hellkite. Bloodthirst 6 Flyer. Yeah, it's not going to be good enough. Don't think I need the Bang Chuckers. Goblin Fire Slinger, tap to deal a point of damage to target player or planeswalker to set up Bloodthirst. No. If it was 1 damage to each player, maybe for 1 mana and like no further mana investment. 3/3 that becomes a 5/5. Meh. Lavamancer, Incinerate, Inferno Titan again. Lightning Axe, Mana Barbs, Vandal. Gives a creature Death Touch. Entavis. Enters the battlefield with X counters on it. Beginning of your upkeep, double the number of counters on it. And as long as it has 10 or more, it has Trample. Terrible, but like we should be able to get it Trample relatively quickly. I'm just kind of shrug at it though. It's okay. Do I want the Rune Scar Demon at all? Like large flyer that can tutor up another card, try and set up like next turn where the flyer gets through and a bunch of other things get through. Maybe. This is M12. This is Rune Scar Demon. Five black for a demon. 5/5. Scrambleverse, Shock, Slaughter Cry. No, Sad Robot, Sorin. 10 damage, but it costs 7 mana, so not very realistic for me to cast the Indoraptor. Don't think I want to bother with Tormented Soul for its guaranteed 1 damage, basically. Or Lifelink is a shrug. Warstorm Surge I probably want, though. that does allow for a lot of extra damage in a turn. I don't know that I'm gonna have room for another 6 mana enchantment with like the um, Emancipation of Fire and City on Fire and whatnot, but at least once that one's in play, it doesn't cost any mana to deal the extra damage. I just need to cast the creature, so. Alright, so 2013. Going through them at a decent clip, I might only be like 10 or 20 minutes over by the time this is done. If we want Memorial, we'll grab it when we get to Future Sight. Or we should have grabbed it in Future Sight, and we didn't, so. Also, it's like 7 mana, so. 4 damage to target creature, Intimidate. This is life. 1 counter on target creature. Search my library for X lands where X is the number of lands I control. No. Firebrand. 1 damage to any target, copies a spell, and 6 damage to each of up to 6 targets. So realistically, what Chandra is doing is 1 damage to any target or copying one of my spells to help me deal extra damage. They're both okay, but not... Like, I'm not getting to the 6 unless we have doubling season out. And then, you know, I probably have a ton of decent options. Muckwader. Symbolic Revelation, no. Disciple Bolus. Duskmantle Prowler. Yeah, Exalted's not going to be much of a thing. 7 mana, 7/7 Trampler. No. Farseek when we get to Ravnica. And not running Arc Lightning, so I don't need Flames of the Firebrand either. +1, make a 3/3. -3, draw cards equal to the greatest power I control. Yeah. Yeah, I can see running this Garruk as like a massive card draw spell that the fail case is it's making me 3/3s every turn. And distracting my opponents most likely. Primal Hunter is 2, green, green, green. Planeswalker starts on 5. Oh no, wait, he starts on 3, right. 5 casting cost, starts on 3. I was like, wait a minute, that lets him survive the card draw effect, and that's not how that works. If you use him immediately for it. Pack Leader. Battle Jester. Don't need Hamlet back. Fury, no. Krenko. Don't think so. Like, I'm not going to be running other goblins anyway, so the only, like, Krenko taps to make 1 goblin, and then taps to make 2 goblins, and then he starts getting a little out of hand, but I kind of need something like Perforos at that point to really take advantage of that. I don't think I need Magma Quake. Mark of Mutiny. Flunkies. Efrox. Rampage. Primordial Hydra again. Reprints. Reckless Brute. Reverberate. I need the rings. Goblin. Sands of Ethereum, no. Searing Spear, no. Time Dragon, no. Staff of Nin, don't think so. Deals 1 damage to each creature with flying. Your opponents control, tap those creatures. Eh. Raiding Post, Trumpet Blast, no. Volcanic Geyser, Volcanic Strength, World Fire. World Fire unfortunately does not work. Setting players' life totals to a lower number involves loss of life, so don't need Yeva. Alright, so it was 2013. 14. Yep, just 3 more sets to go, and we got like 5 minutes before the hour mark, so. Intimidate and Rummage, no. Intimidate. Put a 1/1 counter on target beast, meh. Chandland is a 7/7 giant with haste. Expendables is a worse goblin bombardment. The slivers. Bull Crush, Briar Pack Alpha. If a player taps a non-basic land for mana, deal 1 damage to them. Pyromaster deals 1 damage to target player or planeswalker and 1 damage to up to 1 target creature that planeswalker's controller controls or that player. Creature can't block. Top card. Nope. Okay. Phoenix, no. I don't need Corrupt. Corpse Hauler. Can't block creatures with power 2 or less. Prophecy, no. Destinies, Dragon's Egg. Serve Immortality. Festering Newt. You may destroy target creature with toughness 2 or less. Nope. Color of the Beasts. +1, reveal the top 5 cards of your library. Put all creature cards into hand. Put a green creature from my hand onto the battlefield. May search my library for a creature card, put it on the battlefield, and shuffle. Yeah, I don't think I need this Garruk. The other Garruk, like, if we cast him, we can probably draw a ton of cards immediately. And if we can't, we can start making 3/3s and distract our opponents from our face. Don't need Into the Wilds. Hydra. Very similar to the other one where we can just double up the number of counters and have it gain trample very quickly, but that's all it is a big trampling creature, which is fine, but I feel like we can do better. Gigantic Sliver, no. Mind Sparker. Earth, no. Nightmare. There's Battle Driver if we really wanted him. It is nice with the Warstorm Surge and the Hellkite to be able to attack with them immediately with extra power, but I don't know that I want to spend 4 mana on a 3/3, set that up. I'd rather just have a cheap way to give it haste. Or preferably a free way to give it haste. Just, Greaves, Fires of Yavimaya, any of those seem better. Primeval Bounty is okay, but I don't think I have room for another 6 mana. Essentially do nothing the turn I casted enchantment. Wait, what was the Pyromancer's Gauntlet again? Red instant, sorcery, or planeswalker you control would deal damage. It deals that much damage. +2. Not at 5 mana, I don't think. Of Dark Realms, no. Savage Summoning, no. Scourge of Valkus. Or another dragon enters the battlefield under your control. It deals X damage to any target, where X is the number of dragons you control, and it has fire breathing. Eh. Gives Embrace, Melt, Spore Mound, Striking Sliver, Bionic Resonator. I wonder if you copy the triggered ability from Indoraptor. It says you get to choose new targets, but the effect chooses a target at random. I'm going to guess that I could choose who it actually hits. I'm not 100% sure on that. Go to Thorncaster Sliver, Warlord, Vastwood Hydra. Ricochet, Witchstalker, and Peasy. Alright, that was 2014, 2015. Just hitting the hour mark. A minute in. It's almost. Act on Impulse, Aggressive Mining. Whenever a creature opponent controls dies, gets +2/+0 and gains First Strike and Haste. Avarice Amulet. Sliver. Deals 5 damage to target creature, destroy all equipment attached to it. No. Blood Host. Water, no. Bowler's Plate. Burning Anger is funny, but not exactly what I need. That's Chandra again. That's Circle of Flame again. Okay. Cone of Flame is a reprint from Weatherlight. Covenant of Blood. Yeah, I don't. Again, the go wide thing isn't working out for me. Like, I don't have that many creatures. Otherwise, I could get this down to, like, no mana to cast to deal 4 extra damage for the Indoraptor, but not quite where I'm at. I don't even think I want Stoke the Flames, honestly. That one's a lot easier to get down to 0 mana for 4 extra counters. I think I need Feast on the Fallen. Both make 2 3/3s. Forge Devil. Goblin. Destroy another target planeswalker. Make a 3/3 death touch. Destroy target creature. Gain life. Target opponent gets an emblem. Whenever a creature attacks, it gets +5/+5 and trample. Attacking that player. 7 mana. Kill a creature. Gain some life. Distract our opponents for a little bit. Probably not. I think I need Rabble Master. Boomist. No. Hammerhand, no. Heat Ray. Hoarding Dragon. Burno Fist. Probably not. Species, no. Power and toughness equal to number of forests you control enters the battlefield. You create another copy of it. Probably going to be heavy red. Green is only secondary, so. A 4 mana 4/4 if I have a forest. Target creature gets +2/+2 and trample for 5 mana. Don't think so. Activate an ability of an artifact. If it is a mana ability, pay red to copy it. Oak. Put a 1/1 counter on another target creature. You control each creature on the battlefield with the greatest power. Gain control of target creature and opponent controls until end of turn. Robite, Necrogen Scooter. Better. Stockpile, no. 5 mana, deal 2 damage. Becomes a 4/4, untap 4 forests, search my library for any number of basic lands, they become 4/4s. Expedition. Oh, no, 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 silly. Silly bot offering me views. Of that now. Oh, Obnixilus's loss of life, so that's not going to help Indoraptor. Other than getting the opponents dead faster. Overwhelm. Eternal Wilds. Green creature gains trample. Target red creature gains haste. Target black creature gains death touch. Fido Titan. Primadox. Maggot. A Scuttling Doom Engine is another one where if it died at the right time, it'd be okay, but that's not going to happen often enough. Siege Dragon. 5 mana, deal 3 damage to target player or planeswalker, and 3 damage to up to 1 target creature. Same player controller. Innistrad, Soul of New Phyrexia, Soul of Zendikar, don't think so. Staffs, they're Stoke the Flames, and yeah, I don't think I'm going to bother with Stoke. Terra Stomper. Scavenger. Fire. Waste Not. Golem, no. Nope, okay. Alright, one more to go. Prowess, exiles the top card. Renown 1. Becomes blocked by a creature, it deals 2 damage to that creature. Strike Renown 1. Put all land cards from among them onto the battlefield tapped. Tap those lands. Avarice Dragon. Hellhound, no. Menace. +2/+2 and has trample. Player casts 2 or more spells last turn. Sacrifice Call of the Moon. Little callback. 1 damage to target player or planeswalker. If it's dealt 3 or more damage this turn, flip her. Player dealt damage this way gets an emblem. Yeah, that'd be another one that'd be super cool if we had doubling season when we flipped her, but The target creature you control deals damage equal to its power to each other creature and each opponent. That is potentially a lot of damage, especially from Indoraptor. Like, just wipes everybody's board and deals a ton of damage to my opponents. I might want Chandra's Ignition. It does run the risk of Indoraptor gets killed, it does nothing, but that has a lot of potential damage. Also, it is enough damage that I'm willing to try to do it to set up Indoraptor also. Like, just have one of my other big creatures deal all that damage and then try and cast Indoraptor. As mana intensive as that might wind up being. I think it's just at the low, like the highest end, I guess, of casting cost where I still think it's possible to cast the Indoraptor in the same turn and actually pull that off. Sonic Pact, because I don't really have a way to get rid of it once I've dealt the 4 damage or reset it. Embermaw Hellion to add in an extra damage. Is that just... No, the other one deals double damage, but it's only on instants and sorceries. Whereas this is any red source I control. Yeah, I guess we'll at least consider Chandra's Ignition, not Chandra. Not Chandra with an SH anyway. Embermaw Hellion. Red, Hellion. 5. Don't need Enthralling Victor, Evolutionary Leap, Exquisite Firecraft. No. Haste Renown 1. Non-token creature enters the battlefield on your control. Pay red. If you do create a token that's a copy of that creature, that token gains haste, exile at the beginning of the next end step. Gear up per Aether Grid for the treasure makers that I'm running. Which, given the one that I have and the couple that I'm considering, might make it worthwhile. We'll have to see. If I don't have enough consistent treasure production here per Aether Grid, then we won't bother with it. Like, if I'm making a ton of treasures, but it's only off of, like, the 2 or 3 cards that I know I'm thinking about including, and there's no other ones, then that's probably not worth it. Don't need the Winnower. Glory Chaser, Pile Driver. Loses life equal to number of cards in the creature cards in their graveyard, so no. Attacks each combat if able. If it dies, search your library for a card named Infectious Bloodlust, put it in your hand, and shuffle. Nope. The Kothafed, no. Evelyn, no. Liliana, no. Bully. Insight. Don't think we need Mana Gorge or Hydra. Romantic Summons. New. Light Snare. Issa, don't think so. I need Revelation. Dead. No. Gobor. Okay, what was the Outland Colossus again? It's a 6 mana 6/6. Can't be blocked by more than one creature. It has the Renown 6, so if it ever connects, it's Titanic. Ravaging Blaze. Smolars. Zerker. Without flying, can't block this turn. It's 2 life, I gain 2 life and cost 5 mana to activate. Just Smithereens. Scout, no. Sword of the Animist. Terra Stomper. No. Nope. Roll on Hunger. Wardens. Bellower, no. Nope. Okay. So, yeah, we're almost at an hour and 20 minutes, so I'm going to call it there. Give me a little while, and I might be back on doing some more Kaladesh drafts or something else, but we'll see. So that'll do it for me for right now. Thank you for watching, and I will see you next time. Have a good rest of your day.